Breakfast with Santa, a holiday tradition, will continue in Ingleside this year despite the COVID-19 pandemic, but the annual event will no doubt be just a little different. For the 7th year, the Ingleside Fire Rescue Association will host a free breakfast for the community. They say it's their way to give back and bring a little joy to others. But instead of everyone gathering and sitting down to eat, meals will be hand-delivered by Santa in a drive-through line. It's happening this Saturday starting at 9 a.m. at the Ingleside Fire Department. That's located at 2425 8th Street, right there in Ingleside.